tratado de olvidarte. ¿Cuántas veces sin lograrlo así? ¿Cuántas veces, cuántas noches sin tus besos? Aún sabiendo que te alejas más de mí.
Okay, so, you know, like Marilyn mentioned, I've been here, this is my 4th time speaking, so thank you. I thank Marilyn so much for inviting me back. I'm a huge fan of Marilyn and all she represents. She makes me proud to be a Latina for sure. It's good to be back. I want you all to please be active. Send me your questions anytime. I will address them as we go along. This will be an action-packed session because it's going to include live demos of government websites that you're going to be learning about.
This is a workshop for you as an entrepreneur who wants to start a business.
Super, yes, and this is for anyone who wants to work, get government contracts. So we're going to talk about how to grow your federal business. For the purpose of this session, I will focus strictly on where to find contract opportunities and not go into too much details about other functionalities available on these websites. But if questions do arise way, please send them over to me, and like I said, I will address them. Again, Marisol, I will ask you to kindly mute yourself. We're going to use the chat button, and if we have time towards the end, we'll definitely open it up for live one-on-one oral type of questions. But for now, just to help keep me from getting too confused, it would help if we just use the chat feature to ask some questions. Okay, now I have it open. Super. So again, I'm Marisol Herrera. I am the Business Development Manager and Procurement Specialist at the Connecticut Procurement Technical Assistance Center. And I'm also the President of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Greater Bridgeport. And I will always bring you the best information to the conversation at hand. And the topic of today's conversation is contracting opportunities at the federal, state, and local levels. And I want you to learn about micro purchases. All right, so let me move right along to the next slide. I want to get you excited, and I'm going to emphasize that the government is the largest buyer in the world. It has a huge budget, and it buys just about every commodity from all industries. I'm still admitting people, so please bear with me. They pop up. Also, it wants to do business with small companies like yours. It's a reliable repeat customer, and it's never going to go out of business. Last year alone, the government spent over $500 billion buying from companies like yours. So I hope that you do consider selling your products and services to the government. So let's get you one step closer to winning contracts. Does that sound good to you? If so, just send it via the chat box. I want to make sure the chat box is working, and let me know if winning government contracts is something that you want to do. Awesome. Tommy said yes. Yes, Valerie said yes as well. Aura, thank you. Vivian said yes, absolutely. You should sell to the government. Again, they're looking to buy from small businesses. In fact, there's a preference there as well. So like I mentioned, I am from Connecticut PTech, and we are a nonprofit organization, and we provide assistance, education, and training to get you one step closer to winning government contracts. The services that you see on the slide are all available free of cost to you. We are funded by the Department of Defense and by the state of Connecticut. And we assist with federal, state, and local registrations. We also assist with social economic certifications. We help you do some market research to find who is buying what you're selling. We help identify bid opportunities, and that's going to be my focus today, identifying bid opportunities at the federal, state, and local levels. And if you find an opportunity, a bid that you want to go after, we assist you with preparing, with putting that proposal together. All of this is done on a private and confidential one-on-one basis. And we also assist with creating a government-friendly capability statement. And this is such a very important document because it's you're introducing your company to government contractors. And that document that has very specific information about your company will assist them in determining whether they want to do business with you. We also provide bid match. Clients that our clients are provided with bid match, and it's a computerized program that matches bid opportunities at the federal, state, and local level. And it matches your company's capabilities to these bid opportunities, and these opportunities are sent to you directly to your email. And all of this is free of cost. All right, moving right along. This is the agenda, and our mission today is to learn about government websites and how you can use these websites to grow your federal business. I'm going to start with where to find federal bid opportunities, and I want to squeeze in a bonus and talk about simplified acquisition procedures. Next, we'll talk about where to find state bid opportunities. After that, where to find municipal opportunities. And we're going to finish up with the bite-size micro purchase threshold opportunities, which is a smart and easier entryway into the government marketplace. So keep that in mind. Micro purchase threshold and simplified acquisition procedures. All right, let's move right along. So let's start where to find bid opportunities at the federal level. Those opportunities are posted in sam.gov. This is the authoritative site for federal bid opportunities that are over $25,000. Now, I'm going to say most are posted on sam.gov, but not all of them. Most, but not all. Keep that in mind. So we're going to go to this website and we're going to focus on contracting opportunities, contract opportunities, and then we're going to select search. So here we go. I'm going to switch over and go to the website. And from here, let me share the screen. Okay, so now you should be seeing cm.gov. Josh, could you confirm that that's the case? I hope it is. If anyone is not, let me know. Okay, this is cm.gov. Everyone can see it? Looks like you can. So from here, the cm.gov, again, there's a lot of information here. The goal is to find federal contract opportunities. From here, you're going to click contract opportunities. And it's going to take you to this page. I'm going to read this paragraph right here. Contract opportunities are procurement notices from federal contracting officers. Anyone interested in doing business with the government can use the system to search opportunities. Opportunities include pre-solicitation, solicitation notices, award notices, and sole source notices. So keep that in mind. There's so many different types of notices, so many different types of opportunities, but today our focus is contract bid opportunities. So, which is, in other words, they use this term, solicitation notices. So this is our goal for today. We're going to select solicitation notices. But from here, we need to narrow down the search. Anytime you want to do a search, it's important to narrow it down. So I'm going to, well, even before we go even further, you're going to want to bookmark this website to have easier access to it later on. So you're going to click on advanced search. And it's going to take you to this page where you can narrow down your search even further. You're going to find filters located on the left side of the monitor. Now, for the purpose of this training, I'm going to run a simple search. Here are all the filters. You can search by keywords, federal organizations, dates, notice type. Again, we're going to focus on solicitations. I'm going to click on that filter, and I'm going to select solicitation. You can narrow it down even further. If you notice, it refreshed itself. There are over 12,000 notices that are classified as solicitations, but we need to narrow this down even further. Let's say I'm a small business just located in the state of Connecticut. So another filter I would choose is place of performance. Click on the arrow, and you can select the state, even the zip code, but you don't want to narrow it down too much. From here, select Connecticut, and it refreshed itself. It narrowed it down to 31 results. But another important filter to use is the date, because these are solicitations, and you're going to notice that these solicitations are quite lengthy. So I'm going to need time to prepare my proposal. I'm going to select the date filter, and from here, date offers due. Select that arrow, and you're going to want to custom the date down. I tend to choose a date that is going to take place after today. I need time to prepare my solicitation. So I want opportunities that are due after today to give me time to put my proposal together. So it narrowed down my search to now only 9 results. The results are here in the middle, in the center of the monitor. You have the title of the solicitation, some information here in the middle, and some associated details on the right side. This is the title of the solicitation. We didn't narrow it down by industry, or we didn't use any keywords. I want to give you an opportunity to see what's out there here in the state of Connecticut. Full food services at the United States Coast Guard Academy. Let's say this is something that matches my capabilities. So you would click on the title of the solicitation, and it's going to take you to a summary page. From here, you're going to find information about all the information that you need for this solicitation. This is the buyer, the United States Coast Guard. You're going to find information, general information, classification, description, any attachments, point of contact information, and the history of the solicitation. We know that it's an active solicitation because it's green, the ID number. The buyer is the federal agency, the Department of Homeland Security. So each of these federal agencies have several bureaus under them, and the United States Coast Guard is one of them. And the United States Coast Guard has a military base here in New London, Connecticut. So can anyone tell me when the due date is for this solicitation? When would you have to submit your proposal by? Send it in the chat box for me, please. Anyone? So the due date is June 11th. All right, I won't get into other details here of the dates, but June 11th, this is the date you have to keep in mind. Date offers due at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So if you're out in Arizona, you need to make sure that you submit it by the 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now let's scroll down to classification. Original set aside, woman-owned small business program set aside. So the federal government has the set aside programs in place for small businesses. So in this situation, only companies certified as women-owned small business are eligible to apply for this solicitation. Only women that are certified, only companies that are certified as WOSB can submit a proposal, which is one of the major benefits of these set-aside programs because it narrows down the pool of competition. You would only be competing against other women-owned small companies for this contract. Now, the description of the solicitation is found here. And you're going to find everything you need to know to put your proposal together here. It's going to give you a description, and it also gives you a time period to ask questions. In addition to that, if you continue to scroll down, you're going to find an attachment that you will be able to download to help you prepare for your solicitation. And please take note of all the attachments found within the solicitation. All right, so you can click on these and you can download it. You would open the file. And you're going to read everything about the scope of work, the evaluation criteria, everything that you need to know about this solicitation can be found from sam.gov, from this page here. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's go back here. I want to make sure you can see the screen. Super. All right, so all the documents are here. I'm going to continue to scroll down. Now, something very important when you start working in the government marketplace is finding points of contact information. That is so important because eventually you're going to want to conduct some outreach, and building relationships in the government sector is very important. So you're in this solicitation page, you're going to find point of contact of contracting officers who are managing this solicitation. So I'm going to scroll back down. That was just one example of where to find federal opportunities. I'm going to go back here to the filter page, and I want to ask which industry. We can run a specific search for any industry that you're interested in. And while you shoot some via the chat box, let's say that you are, for example, let's say that you provide translation and interpretation services. You can enter those keywords in the filter and it's going to refresh itself. While this thing is not perfect, you see that you start getting results that may not be relevant to your capabilities. But what I want to do now is I want to, with translation and interpretation services, that's a service you can provide remotely, let's say. So I'm going to remove the place of performance filter here because I can do this probably internationally. And it refreshed itself. Now my results are now over 1,000. What I find when I do my filtering is that I do sometimes get some opportunities that are not relevant to what I need. But again, it does pull from the abstract of the solicitation, so you will find that you'll need to sift through the opportunities that result. But let's say there is an opportunity, again, that you're interested in. Here's the title, Remote Simultaneous Interpretation Services. if this looks interesting to you, you would click on the title of that notice, and you're going to find all the information that you need from this page. It's an active solicitation. The buyer is the Department of Commerce. The sub-agency, the bureau under here, is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Office. All right. Well, this one was due, offer's due date is today for this particular solicitation at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So this one is too late. Now, the classification, this one is set aside for total small business. Now, most of you and most are small businesses. And someone not a small business would be a prime, such as Sikorsky or Electric Boat or Pratt & Whitney, for example. The description of this requirement is found here. I won't read through this, but you would definitely read through all of this. The proposed award is 100% set aside for small business concerns. They use this term concerns when they want to refer to companies in the federal sector. They let you know how they're going to evaluate you based on your past performance, your technical capabilities, the prices you offer, and any attachments associated to this solicitation will be found here. Okay, if there's any document you want to download, you would just simply click on it, open the document. There's a total of 28 pages to read through here, and everything you need to know is found within this solicitation. Some of these are can actually be fillable. You have here the background, objective, specific requirements, etc. All right. So let me check my chat here. Waterproofing, all right, graphic design. So let me go back here and run a search for graphic design services. There we are, filters are located on the left. Now, these are filters by default. If you continue to scroll down, you're going to find a more filters button where you can select and uncheck any filters that you like. Let me come back here. So I'm going to run a search first for graphic design services. Press enter. And we have here, again, this isn't perfect. If you see here, we have, it's pulling, maybe if you put in quotes, graphic design services. Does that help? No. Anyway, but you'll see that you'll need to spend time through these results and find exactly the solicitations that match your capabilities. Graphic design services. That's another word for the graphic design. Computer, full service design, IDIQ for those. Listening what you're, let's see what this is all about. If something looks like it might fit your capabilities, click on that link. All right, here we go. Provides engineering, construction, okay. No, this is more for engineering services. So another way to filter these solicitations is by entering a NAICS code, the North American Industry Classification System. And this is a code that is assigned to your industry that helps let the government know what services you provide. Let me try just graphic design. Planning and design, marketing. Maybe if we try marketing. So definitely want to add some keywords that will help narrow down the search. Because it's pulling from other solicitations and not exactly graphic design. Here. Fire prevention billboards. Let's see what this is about here. Click on the title. I saw number 2. Here we go. The buyer is the Department of the Interior, the Bureau of Land Management. The due date for this solicitation is June 10th. Now, classification. So this is not set aside. This is a full and open competition opportunity. So you would be competing against the large contractors, but no big deal. All the documents associated with the solicitation will be found here. Scope of work, you can click on the documents. Now, when I say no big deal, we see that this is not set aside for a small business. Once this award is made to a large contractor, this large contractor would be referred to as a prime contractor. These federal prime contractors that are awarded these huge contracts are obligated to parse out parts of their awards to small businesses like yours. So what that means is that you as a small business would need to introduce yourself to the winner of this contract. That's another entryway into the government. So here's the statement of work. You would read through all this. This is multiple year. And this is just one of the many documents that you would have to read through. So in the process of, oops, screen sharing has stopped. Let me go back here. So in the process of getting familiar with these federal contracting opportunities posted on beta.sam.gov, you need to ask yourself, are these worth my time, energy, and effort? Because I'm just a small company of maybe 5, 10, maybe a business of 1 or 2, because they do require a lot of time to go through and prepare. But there are several ways to go after these contracts. You just saw that this one's going to be very big and more chances are a prime is going to win it. Therefore, you can introduce yourself to that prime and that prime contractor would take care of the paperwork and they could subcontract you to do a small part of that award. So another, I saw that someone had waterproofing. Let's run a search for waterproofing. And here's my chat. There's a total of 3 here. Let me know if any of these are interesting to you. I'm looking here for my chat. Waterproofing, I saw billboards, roofing. Maybe not, but same steps, go through here. This one is set aside. You would only be competing against other small businesses. This is the buyer, the General Services Administration, and they have so many buildings throughout the United States and internationally. Click on all these documents to get familiar with the solicitation. If you ever have any questions, you have a point of contact. This is the contracting officer managing the solicitation. Again, notice how many documents associated with this solicitation. And I want to emphasize that to you because, again, it's important to understand that, you know, there's only so much you can do as a small business. So I want to bring your attention to something that might be a little more manageable. And that is, let me share my screen here. Now, you know, you notice that these solicitations, some are very, very long and have a lot of attachments, but there is a smarter entryway into the government marketplace, and that's through what's called the Simplified Acquisition Procedures, which is the government's keep it simple approach to doing business with small companies. And the dollar value of a simplified acquisition procedure is between $3,500 to $250,000. Now, again, these simplified acquisition procedures allow for informal bidding, informal competition procedures, for simple dollar purchases. It's informal. For example, the quote may be submitted in oral rather than in written form. So that's a huge benefit. And these small contracts are much more powerful and more important than those posted in SAM.gov, in my opinion, because you're building trust with contracting officers that have the authority to award you these SAP contracts to companies like yours. And again, these SAP opportunities are not posted on SAM.gov. In fact, they're not posted anywhere. But the government contracting officer has within their authority to award this contract to a small business based on what they know about this small business and that small business's past performance. So keep that in mind. For example, like I mentioned, the Coast Guard is located here in New London. And let's say they have a need for catering, and that catering need is less than $250,000. They can award that catering need to any small business that they know of. Now, if they need to know who you are, so what you would need to do is find who that contracting officer is. So that in and of itself is a totally different workshop. And think of it again as a keep it simple approach to doing business with the government. And if you would like a workshop on how to find SAP opportunities, just type in SAP in the chat and I'll make sure that Marilyn knows about it. And our next workshop will be finding these SAP opportunities. Because wouldn't you be happy with a contract that is worth $250,000 and you wouldn't have to worry about all that paperwork? Again, it's a smarter entryway into the government, no competition, a lot less paperwork, less risk, you get paid faster, and you're building past performance and you're building trust with these government agencies. All right, so keep that in mind. That's what I always recommend my clients to do, is to go after SAP opportunities, and we prepare very strongly for those opportunities. All right, so let's move on now to state contracting opportunities. All right, so this is Connecticut Source. Connecticut Source is the state of Connecticut's one-stop shop website where companies can register to do business with the state of Connecticut. And keep in mind, while you do not have to register to view solicitations, you might need to register in order to respond to solicitations that are posted by the Department of Administrative Services. They're the ones that are responsible for posting these opportunities at the state level. So I am going to now transition over to the website. Oh, keep in mind, we're also going to be talking about opportunities under the micro purchase threshold. Okay, here we are. This is BidBoard, Connecticut Source BidBoard. And you can see that for the purpose of this training, we're going to focus on active open solicitations. The filters are located on the left side. And after I clicked open, because we want open active solicitations, it narrowed down my search to 185. All right, and again, I recommend that you bookmark this website for easier access next time. And just a heads up, this website works best on Edge Explorer, Google Chrome, or Firefox. Time is up. I want to keep breakout room open. All right, so keep that in mind. And you can, it looks like your progress, something's coming up, Josh. Josh, something's coming up. Can you see my screen? Okay, so I'm trying to work around here. All right, so the filters are located on the left. There's different types of solicitations. That's another workshop in and of itself. Let's say that you are in the transportation services industry. You can use this filter right here, this search filter, to narrow down your search. Enter the keyword here, transportation services, press enter. And here we go. There's 187 matching solicitations. And from here, let's say one of these, let's see if one of these looks interesting to you, click on the title of the solicitation and it's going to take you to the summary page where you're going to find details about the solicitation. And what's most important, you're going to find, again, points of contact information.
Pa' que tú lo sepas, con el palpito.